What is going on, y'all? Joe Johnston here from Speaker Scale, and in this video, I am going to take you through the exact sales process and system that allowed one of our clients to scale from 20K to 200K plus a year as an expert professional speaker and leave her full-time job as a doctor. This is the same exact sales system that has allowed me and my team to be on a 2x run rate for our professional speaking business this year, and the same one that we give to all of our Speaker Scale clients inside of our private consulting community. Now, if you want access to the sales number sheet with all the KPIs that you need to keep track of when you're implementing this system and process, you can go ahead and make that copy of that in the resources section below. And be sure to stick around until the end of this video to learn a few of the key factors that you are going to need to start raising your speaking fee and landing higher paid speaking opportunities consistently. So let's jump into this process. This is the sort of end-to-end process here, and I'm going to dive into the first piece on the left and work left to right. So first piece of the puzzle, and we kind of break this down, as y'all can see, into pre-call booked, post-call booked, and then this should be the actual sales process here in blue. Sales process here in blue, right? So this is the end-to-end sales process. The yellow is pre-call booked, orange is post-call booked, and then blue is sales process from discovery call all the way to closed or close one or close loss. So first piece of the puzzle, if we zoom in here on the pre-call books, is before we even have a really solid sales process in place, we need to have a high-end speaker brand, clear positioning, clear expert positioning statement, EPS on what we do, who we serve, very high end professional speaker brand with your marketing assets, everything together, your LinkedIn profile and page and everything in place, consistent content, generating content on LinkedIn and different platforms in a way that's going to attract and speak to your audience. This is going to just lead the process to be smoother. It's going to lead to more calls booked, easier closes. It's one of the big factors that you need to start raising your speaking fee consistently. Pre-call booked. So before the call is actually booked. And again, we're always looking to book a call in the sales process to cut down any ambiguity and lead deals to close higher in a more smooth rate. So before the call is actually booked, you're going to have the lead in process. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check out our video on the 4 different channels and ways to generate leads consistently. But a lead comes in, whether it's through spin-off, whether it's through inbound, whether it's through outbound, referral, whatever it is, a lead comes into your system and ecosystem in some way. Now, off of that, the lead then goes through the appointment setting flow. So the appointment setting flow, and this is also, you can see down here how these are run. So this pre as well as post call booked can all be run through a VA team and automation, right? So there's a little labor there, but this can all be run through a VA team, a VA, and automation can be handling this. So the appointment setting flow is where we're actually going to be following up with and getting folks onto your calendar, right? You get a lead in, referral, inbound, cold outbound, whatever it is. We need an appointment setting process to follow up with them and get them onto the calendar for a discovery call. Now, basically one of two things happen here. Lead comes in, we follow up with the appointment setting flow. They either lead to a call booked, or after 3 or 4 follow-ups in the appointment setting flow and process, we put them into a long-term follow-up nurturance category, right? If they're not booking a call or we don't hear from them, we ghost from them, we put them into a longer-term follow-up nurturance sequence and campaign where we're just dripping them with different touch points. Now, for those that do go into call booked, right, and book an initial sort of discovery call with you, this is then the post call booked process. One of the biggest things here is having a confirmation email, and really you should have a couple confirmation emails. So, today is Thursday, May 8th. Let's say we book a call for Tuesday, whatever that would be. Let's May 13th. They need to be getting an immediate confirmation email, and they also need to be getting dripped with different confirmation emails and through that sequence to warm them up prior to their call with my team on Tuesday, right? In the confirmation email um, sequence here, two things. One, VSL. They need to be getting your video sales letter, a pre-call intro video to you, to get further warmed up on you and the work that you do. We give a template for this inside of our community. You can go look at different VSL, but you need to be creating a VSL or some type of asset to be sending to them immediately and making sure that they're watching that video before they have a call with you so that they're framed up to you and your work, especially when the leads are coming from cold outbound. They need to be framed up to you and your work prior to that call to save you a lot of time and energy on those calls. The other piece of the puzzle is pre-call form. So we should be asking them when the call is booked, when we're setting the call and when the call is booked, whether it's in the DMs or over email or over call. Let them know that you're sending over a form, and send over an actual form, which is basically a quick little pre-call form that they can fill out, gives you more context to them and the work that they do and kind of where they're at in their process, so that you and your team are more, again, warmed up and more framed up to the conversation prior to the call. So confirmation email sequence, and then we actually go into the sales process. This sales process should be handled by you, or if you are 500,000 plus a year in speaking revenue, you can start to look at hiring an internal sales agent, right? So once you start crossing around, we see it around the 500,000 a year threshold is where we see professional speakers start to hire an internal sales agent, right? And that's a whole other conversation of, when we get there. But until you're 500,000, uh, 500,000 or less a year, you should be handling this process by yourself. So the first is the discovery call. We need to have a very clear discovery call. You're not pitching yourself. You're doing, deep discovery. From there, if the lead is qualified, they're going to proposal email and social proof. So there's a templated email. You're plugging in some pieces to a proposal. You're sending that over to them after the discovery call. You're scheduling at the end of a discovery call a follow-up slash closing call. And then basically at this point, guys, what we do is like, once they have the proposal email and social proof, you're talking through that on the follow-up closing call. Um, and at this point, it's just a matter of timing and getting to close, right? So it's ultimately running a good process here, staying in touch with them. Look, some people are going to close on that second call. Some people, some leads have taken 15 calls to close, right? Because there's just stuff internally. It's just the nature of this game, but we have to have a good follow-up process and making sure that we're staying in place. Always having the next call on the calendar is our philosophy, and then they're going to basically move into either closed won or closed lost. If they move into closed lost, they're going into that long-term nurturance flow, right? So pretty much similar to this flow at the beginning. If they did not book a call, they're going into a long-term nurturance flow where you slash the team is dripping them and staying in touch with them over time, but they've gone into close lost. Whether they verbally tell you, hey, we're not moving forward, or it's like, hey, it's May right now, the event's in July or August. August, September rolls around, you don't hear from them, obviously goes to close lost. Which, if you don't hear from them, it's like, we need to look at the actual quality of that lead. If, a meeting or event planner or decision maker isn't even going to get back to you on whether or not they're moving forward with you after you've gone through the sales process and sent them a proposal and everything, you know, that lead needs to be weighted a lot less. And we shouldn't be nurturing and following up with them as much, right? Because that's just disrespectful. If they go to close one, then we take them through the fulfillment flow. We have a whole other video that basically breaks down the fulfillment pro, the pre to fulfillment flow, the pre to post event process to smoothly onboard a new client, the pre event calls and processes and systems that you need to have in place leading up to the event, and then the post event process to have in place to turn that one opportunity into multiple more, collect leads, feedback data, all that stuff. So that is the high level speaker sales process that many of our clients have used to 10x their speaking businesses. One of the things here that is, extremely important to remember is that this all starts with good solid lead flow. If we don't have good solid lead flow, we don't have, more and consistent leads and opportunities coming in top of funnel every single day, every single week, then sales process doesn't matter. So if you haven't already, I would go check out our video on how to consistently generate qualified speaking leads. We have a entire other video, and if you want the full video on the full training on the 5 key factors to raising your speaking fee, go ahead, check that video out in the resources section below. And if you want to learn how we have helped 100 plus speakers like yourself to implement this as well as other predictable systems into their speaking businesses to predictably scale, click the link to our website below to book a call with our team, see if you're qualified, and we will have a conversation with you. Thank you all so much, and we'll chat soon.